so nice to see you again. We've missed you. You are a definite plus to the jollies one got every day. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience working for AccuComp?
We worked in a team fashion, splitting up all the smaller details and building every project into a successful project by incorporating all the pertinent components, so we were always successful.
What is your proudest moment at AccuComp?
Proudest moments was the day that we were asked to solve $17 million in FX in a platform that everyone had kind of left the corporation, so we went from a staff of 17 down to 3, and really it helped save the company by ending up in a very difficult tax situation, and then cross-training that to both the United States parent company and the foreign parent company.
What did you learn while you were working with AccuComp?
Everyone brings different assets to a project where we overlapped with each other, and what it did is it helped ask pertinent questions to get the actual factual answers to make good decisions. It overlapped all the way from finance to systems to project management and good communication. So the real need to have a group of people that can effectively bring those components is what always made us successful. I learned to bring people together that always don't have the same skill set. So it's very much a synergy as a group.
What would you say differentiates us from our competitors?
Most competitors will take in your comments or a predefined notion of what is driving the problem, what are the issues, and they may even come to you with a predefined notion of what the solution is. What we tend to do is listen to what the problems are and then kind of dive in and find out what are the key contributors, the underlying contributors to the problem, because then we can then bring on those people into the group to be more successful.
So if you had to say why clients should choose us, what would you tell our future clients?
I would say that you can look to AccuComp to really come in and once again listen to what you're saying, but then deep dive into your processes and your actual issues. And that way, when you come to a resolution through the project, you will actually have an actual resolution. It's sad to say that a lot of people hire consultants. The consultants come in, they stir the pot, and they don't complete anything. Whereas we actually go to the extent of breaking it down into bite-sized pieces so we can effectually close each section of a project out and then come to a true resolution of the project. AccuComp, right? So we start with Accu for accurate, and our goal is to actually make things accurate in the context of, managing different areas of the business. And that's why I think we always succeeded.
Do you remember the day that I walked in and I said that we are actually going to close the books in the month after
you actually
the end of the
period, yeah.
Right. We are not going to be going into the second month, and we're trying to close January in March.
In March, yeah.
And people went on and on for a good 15, 20 minutes about why that was not possible.
We've been through that in several unique instances, We worked in combination but separate on a particular project where they only close the books once a year.
Yeah.
So when you're closing your books once a year, everyone is doing what's called non-added value work. And if you're not functional to whatever system you have and you're running off of Excel, I love Excel, it does a lot of great things, but you're then missing the whole application of technology into your process. So, a lot of people think, more work is better. No, it's the appropriate process is better. Companies that are so driven to the budget, that they miss the perspective on running the business to performance. A budget is a great thing, and we've helped implement some budgets so people kind of start getting a grasp on cost control, and it helps drive where they want to go. But at the same time, if your bottom line is very good but it doesn't match your budget, then what you have to do is analyze, why is it successful and where should you go? A lot of people say, it doesn't meet the budget, we failed. And I think people are too relegated to that, I call it late 80s, so strict of a budget that any deviation is deemed
failure.
It's
failure.
It's a failure, and it's deemed without value. Yet every single organization, if there's no change during the year, then there's no progress. So continuous improvement means you're making small changes. If that doesn't impact your P&L effectively, then you're not managing effectively.
We operate at the CFO level. What do you need a finance person for then?
Usually you got called in because there's a need. And that conversation is occurring because there's already a need. And a lot of people have a inherent knowledge today in what a finance person is during this period of time versus accountant, bean counter. If you get a pure accountant, they're going to do the books and they're going to close them, and there's going to be no dynamic analysis. There is going to be no thought-provoking conversations. There is going to be no extrapolation or interpretation. And that's where a lot of consultants fail today, is that they think they just want to close the books, but they don't want to close the books. Yes, closing the books is great, but part of closing the books is deriving information to make those decisions. And I am still bewildered today that in many organizations I get to visit is that the folks that are in the finance department or accounting produce things, slide them through a little hole under the door, and wave goodbye. For their management is trying to interpret data, whether it's financial empirical data or trend analysis, and I would not let a non-financial person do the first interpretation without actually verbally communicating, this is what is being demonstrated. To get the structural accuracy side to be about 28 to 30%. Then we have the understanding of where the data analysis is leading, and then we have the communication and looking to enhance the project that we're in. And it doesn't matter what what the version of the project is, because it still comes down to needing to have good business sense to apply it. We've been involved in technology, we've been involved in pure finance, we've been involved in systems training, systems modification, systems implementation. We've been involved in understanding cost utility, but in the end, it takes people with this type of combination of mixed experiences to really bring that effort together to produce this communication and direction. And most consultants love writing a white paper, and they love telling you what's wrong. Okay? But they don't say, you know, A is this, here's our attack plan. B is this, and then we, you know, prioritize it. And then we take one piece at a time and we work on that piece. Even why sometimes people are nipping at our heels to take care of everything. So you still have to do it in a very planned method, and you really have to bring people into the process. I think that's our biggest strength.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for sharing your insights, and again, we miss you.
I miss you guys too.